dreadful education system and one of the worst infrastructure systems in the country.
Louisiana's infrastructure is critical to the nation.
He said, first of all, the leadership in Louisiana didn't seem to care. You know, I've always heard that politics is a selfish business. And I tell you, I just don't subscribe to that. Because I believe what Ronald Reagan said is that there is no limit to what a man can do or where he can go if you don't care, he gets the credit. Think about that.
By the way, Louisiana didn't only states include the literacy rate a fantastic state with tremendous people and tremendous cities.
Because we are no longer the athletes soccer south.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that that video was put together. Turn the page. Because as I said, whether they write it today or not, you are absolutely living in the greatest story that is yet to be told here in the state. And honestly, it really depends on you now. And when I wrote those words in that speech a couple of months ago, I did so with a tremendous amount of reservation and hesitation, because how it depends on you are words that place a great amount of responsibility now on you, the citizens of this state. Because you see, it's hard to realize, but just over a year ago, this state stood at a crossroads. It was a state that had been long burdened by the weight of missed opportunities and systemic challenges, and I believe you all were ready for a new chapter. Were you? Yeah. I'm here to tell you and stand before you with unbelievable conviction that guess what? That chapter and that change has begun. But I need your help more than ever. And I don't say that lightly. Because you are the same people that entrusted me and those elected officials that are here today to right this state, to lift us off the bottom, to fix this broken state, and to place this state in her rightful place among a new industrial South that is in America. And we have had so much success that I am convinced now that the problem that we have today is trying to get the citizens of this state to wrap their head around what is going on. It is unbelievable. And I'm going to try to walk you through that story, because what we need now is you all to go out like apostles to tell the great story. Now, I'm not going to tell you that we won't have problems and we won't have challenges along the way, but I can promise you they are the best problems to have. Like, y'all may complain about the traffic, or you may complain about the orange cones or the orange barrels, and you know what? If you calling me and fussing at me about that, I'm going to be the happiest governor there is. But let me tell you about that story, because that story just began 20 months ago when you all took a chance on a little country boy from a little rural parish, very similar to this one, who, you know, all of the big around the state and around the country said could never be the governor. But you took a chance on me, and let me tell you, we are proving to the world the greatness of Louisiana. And that story our story starts off just like that video. Because right after I got sworn in as your 57th governor, I go back into the mansion, and I was looking around. I had this stack of books. People love to give me books. I love to read. I don't have as much time to read as I would love to. And I guess I was looking around for a manual on how to be governor. They had given me one when I was in Congress. That don't work out so well for Congress. And in that stack was a little book. I was looking, of course, as many of us do. If you got a stack of books, you're always going to find the thinnest one, right? I found this. There was a book on Huey Long written by a gentleman by the name of Tyler Lucas, who's actually from Texas. He wrote the book while he was studying at the University of Virginia. And I cracked the book open, and I mean, the first introduction to the book says, when Huey Long entered politics, Louisiana was an immensely backward state, suffering from a stagnant economy, a dreadful education system, and one of the worst infrastructure systems in the nation. And I remember I'm reading that book while I'm laying in bed with the First Lady, and I tell her, I said, listen to this. And she says, wait a minute, that's how Louisiana was when Huey Long was there? I said, yep. She said, so after 100 years, we still have those same problems? I said, yep. She says, how long was he governor before they shot him? I said, 1 term. Good luck, I'm going to bed. That's the truth. So she goes to bed, I keep reading, and the next paragraph caught my attention too. It said, now this is this young man writing this book about Louisiana. And he says, worst of all, the leadership in Louisiana did not seem to care. I'm like, wow. And I think that was like one of those moments when everything started to come into focus about the challenges that we had. But I'm going to tell you something. What I believe is different today, what I know is different today than back then, is that you have sent a critical mass of individuals who are engaged in the process of changing the state and who believe that it's better to worry about the next generation than the next election. And I want to recognize them. Every member of the legislature that is here today. I know Francis Thompson, who's been here since Abe Lincoln. And where y'all at? Y'all stand up. Y'all stand up. Katrina Jackson, Stuart Cassidy. Who else? I know we got a couple of representatives. I want you to know, I want to say thank you to you all, and I mean it. And you should thank them. It has been a tough 20 months. Look how tired they look. Don't you worry. We almost had the point where things get easy. Things get easy. Thank y'all so much. Because I believe that we came into office with a promise. Our promise to you was to restore order, to reform education, and to ignite economic growth here in the state, and make sure that we return the government to the people. And I committed myself from the first day that you sworn in. I'm a pretty stubborn and relentless fella, but I want you to know what I do. Since that day, I wake up every morning thinking, what can we do? And what can we do better? And I force people to just go do it. Just go do it. No more excuses. We're just doing it. We're going to move as fast as we can. And if we make a mistake, we're going to just fix that mistake, because we cannot afford to lay on our laurels anymore. And here are my tenets. Just so you know, I want you to know, this is part of that story. Our tenets is that if it builds the economy and it creates new jobs and it brings new opportunity to our people, we just go get it. We just do it right now. If it reverses all of the crazy ideology that's infected this land, I say, no, but we return in this country, in this state, to common sense. If it supports our law enforcement And it puts criminals behind bars and gets them off the street so they can't harm us anymore. I say, you know what? We're going to just do it, and we're going to just do it now. Because everybody deserves to live in a safe community. It does not matter where you live. There is a reason. I want you to understand this. There is a reason that the President of the United States mentions us again and again and again. Why? Because we're literally showing the world how to thrive. I know it's hard. I know. It's been so long. We've complained for so many years. It's hard for us to understand how fast we've gone. Because right now, it's not just me. I'm not up here just telling you this, and you don't just have to believe me. You can look at the statistics. Louisiana has never moved. I'm going to walk you through. I'm challenging someone needs to create a Guinness Book of Louisiana. Because we are breaking all of the records. I'm serious. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You have to understand the story. It's unbelievable. We should literally be popping champagne, having a great time. I'm telling you, there should be balloons in this room. Because since becoming governor, we've cracked down on crime by strengthening sentences, holding people accountable in the criminal justice system who don't take bad off of the street. My address to the legislature said, let me tell you something. You want to steal a car, you better hope you got enough gas to get you to the state line. Because if you do, you're going to jail. And the results are real. And the results are real. I mean, look, even in New Orleans, which, by the way, 3 years ago was one of the most dangerous cities, not in the world. I mean, not in the country, but in the world. Crime is down 50%. 50%. And we started over there. And I know some people say, well, Governor, why you spend so much time in New Orleans? I know it's kind of like a family with a bunch of kids. You always have a tendency with the worst of the bunch. More often, we're trying to change it. But don't you worry, I ain't forgot, y'all. And we're taking the lessons that we've learned in that city, and we doubling, because we doubling down. We are working with the federal government. We're going to bring everybody in. National Guard, DEA, FBI, AT. I don't care. Anybody that wants to come help us take bad people off the street and restore order in our streets is what we're going to do. Sheriff, where is he? Where's the sheriff? And then we started with public safety. Then we moved to education. Why? Because don't y'all believe that kids are our future? Huh? That's right. They are. And I want you to know we inherited an educational crisis. But today, we're witnessing a renaissance. We pushed through some unbelievable, dramatic educational reforms up and down the system with those folks who just stood up, standing with me, saying, you know what? We're tired of being last. We did things like institute a Let the Teachers Teach program that cuts the excessive bureaucracy and the paperwork and lowers classroom disruptions and gives teachers more control of their classrooms. We took cell phones and we put the 10 Commandments in. And I took a whole lot of grief about that, but I want you to know something. I want you to know something. Your child will either read the 10 Commandments or he will read the criminal code. That is a fact. And ever since we took those commandments out of our schools, we've had more problems with crime, and especially juvenile crime. And guess what? Just Monday, what's today? I get lost in the days. I just work all the time. I think just Monday, the Fifth Circuit went in and said, you know what? Louisiana, we think Louisiana's 10 Commandments law is constitutional. We're going to have the whole panel for the Fifth Circuit hear that case. So get ready. I think we're going to win. And the result, no. I think a couple of other things we did. We passed some gated. It's empower, because you know what? We're empowering parents. We're empowering parents to be able to control their child's destiny with their money. Okay? Because the money that we, the taxpayer that you all pay into the system is your money. It is not our money. And those kids don't deserve to be stuck in schools just because of a zip code. And we want our schools to flourish. We want our public schools. I am a product of public school. My mother taught in a public school. And then, now this one's really important. I guess we ain't got any teachers because they're in school right now, right? But like, this is important. Any of y'all married to teachers? Got some teachers that are kids? Yeah. Y'all gotta have more than that. Yeah. Look, you can go home and you say to the governor, said, these folks help me, that stood up. We are going to finally give teachers a permanent pay raise. But it depends on you, because it's going to be on the ballot next year. Let me tell you why we had a lot of confusion on those last amendments. I take all the blame. It's okay. Look, we are using money that's sitting in an account where the interest paying down, that's sitting there while we're paying down, and that money, $300 million, Wall Street banks, rather than go to our teachers' pockets. And that's, I'm going to tell you something. They are working their tail off. I know. Let me tell you how our teacher's report card looks. Unbelievable. Louisiana is now ranked 13th. Our fourth graders are number 1 in the nation in reading growth and second in math. We are only one of 2 states. Yes! Somebody, I'm telling you. Like, it's okay. We're no longer a cautionary tale. We are like actually the model. I know you're like, there's no way. The rankings are the highest in the history of the state. So we worked on that. We worked on public safety, we worked on education, we went to tax reform. I'm going to tell you something. Everywhere I went, throughout my service as Attorney General and then on the campaign for God, all I heard was about all the problems this state had. I'm going to tell you something. You know how you fix problems? You job opportunities. You increase families' annual wages. And to do that, you have to have a tax policy that tells businesses that we're open for business. And so we went in and we did tax reform, and we lowered every person in this room's income tax. Every one of them. Every one of y'all. And my goal is that we now second. We have the second lowest income tax in the country. My goal is to eliminate the income tax. Now, I want y'all to know something. Y'all kind of close to Mississippi. Y'all say, wait a minute, Governor, I heard that Tate Reeves, our good friend Tate Reeves, he eliminated the income tax in Mississippi. That's not true. I mean, almost. It's kind of. The media in Mississippi is much better to Tate Reeves than they are to Jeff Landry. Because let me tell you something. If you say, well, I want to move to Mississippi because they got no income tax. Let me tell you something. Mississippi's income tax is higher than Louisiana's right now. They're going to graduate it out. They don't get the 3% until 2030. We had 3% now. And that is going to help increase take-home pay. But take-home pay is not going to increase just because of our tax reform. It's going to increase because of the historic. Here we go again. I'm telling you, like, I'm challenging anybody out there to go tell me where I'm wrong. The way I know it's wrong, because I keep saying it, and the media loves to tell me when I'm wrong. Historic economic development. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, I know, How many of y'all got to see me on the campaign trail, me and Sharon on the campaign trail for governor? How many of y'all? Raise your hands. I know there's a few of y'all. Not too many. Oh, okay, it's okay. Y'all saw I was exhausted. I come up here to North Louisiana, and I kept telling everybody, I said, let me tell you something. This place is going to look different. As governor, we're going to change the face of North Louisiana. We're going to bring jobs to this area like never before. Everybody's like, woo. Maybe I should vote for him. He's got to be the best guy out there. But let me tell you, where was the first economic development mega project we announced as your governor? Where did we announce it? Huh? I'm telling you, I saw something in this area of the state, maybe many of y'all never did. I see an unbelievable opportunity. This place is going to change. It is going to look patently different. And it is going to be unbelievable because you're going to be a part of what the people of this state have been wanting, a diversified economy. We've been wanting, that's all I heard all the time. We got to diversify economy. Let me tell you something. Guess what? The diversification of Louisiana's economy started right here in North Louisiana. And it started with that. And let me tell you something. It ain't stopping. Where's the meta folks? I know they're here. How about a round of applause for these folks? Now look, I know my people from Louisiana. Y'all not quite as bad as those Cajuns I grew up with. But I know a couple of y'all saying, oh, the traffic. We are going to work through all of the great problems that those projects cause. Because let me tell you what we stand to, what you're going to gain. Not stand to gain, you're going to gain. The average salary in Richland Parish before Meta came in was $30,000 a year. Those permanent jobs that gentleman and his company are bringing in are over $90,000 a year. You hearing me? That's 3 times. We went and announced a chip manufacturing facility over in Ruston, in Lincoln Parish. Lincoln Parish, I think they got a little better. They like 38,000. Those jobs, 500 jobs over there, or 300 jobs. $7,000 a year. That is what is going to keep your kids in Louisiana. That is what is going to make sure that your grandkids don't go to Texas. And guess what? It is already proving that we're doing it. It's unbelievable. Let me just give you this number. I say it's over 70 billion. Okay? But it's not. Lawrence Scott went over there. He's smart. Big economist. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He went up the other day in Baton Rouge and said, we have $92 billion worth of projects on the books. Like, let that sink in. $92 billion in a state of 4.5 billion people. I just got off the phone with my good friend Sarah Huckabee. She was bragging to me, Arkansas is just about to announce a $4 billion deal. I said, that's great, Sarah. I'm happy for you. I really am. Like, I'm serious. They over there popping champagne for $4 billion. We got almost $100 billion. I'm telling you, like, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Largest, Meta is the largest. Another record breaking. That project is the largest private investment in the history of North Louisiana. But this development is not going on just up here. It's going on all over. We have the largest construction project in North America going down at the southern tip of Louisiana. Woodside Energy just went down to Lake Charles. We broke ground, $17.5 billion. Largest foreign investment in the history of Louisiana. It's an Australian company, Woodside Energy, right there. I mean, I'm telling you, it is impossible to spend that kind of money without lifting people out of poverty. Unbelievable. It is historic, and we're doing so much more. Let me tell you what we're doing specifically for you. We are finally, Y'all gonna really love this. Y'all should jump up out your chairs when I tell you this. We are finally modernizing the Department of Motor Vehicles. I'm serious. We finally got some technology we're working on right now. I mean, you have been getting your driver's license on software when Genesis was 50. We are revamping. We just revamped the Department of Transportation to make sure that we keep track with the record amount of roads and bridges that we are building right now. In fact, I think 17 in Northeast Louisiana this year. Well, we almost said it. Within the next 8 months, 10 months, better do. Y'all, we're going to replace 17 bridges up here. And those great folks from the legislature deserve all the credit. I need a little bit more money. We're going to do some more. But we've reorganized that department. We're cutting waste and demanding efficiencies in your government. We found $6 million worth of unused cell phones. We got rid of some buildings. We canceled some contracts that don't work anymore. We went into the Medicaid program and found it's going to be way more, but I'm going to just say $75 million worth of savings. Illegal on the Medicaid roll and taking them off. People who live in the states and taking them off. They even had some folks that were dead and collected Medicaid. 75 million. And guess what we did? We took that money. Let me tell you what we did. We took that money, those savings, and just yesterday we announced that we increased the physician pay for Medicaid to almost 85% of Medicare. Now let me tell you why that's important. Because my goal is to work people from dependence to independence. And the healthier our population becomes, the more work they can do. And the more work they do, the more money they make, and the more they get off of social programs. And so we want a healthy Louisiana. And I'll tell you something else. Contrary to what a bunch of people say, I have signed the largest effort to crack down on frivolous lawsuits in the history of this state. That's another one. Put it right there in the book. For the first time, and I'm telling you, it was like, I was like, I'm either going to do this, it's going to go real good, or it's going to go real bad. That's been the story of my life anyhow. Because I was the first governor to take on both insurance companies and lawyers. Because they're both to blame. And we went in, and I'm going to tell you something, it wasn't fun. And despite all those folks that were wailing, the media that was wailing and crying, and there was some radio show folks saying that I was doing one side's bidding versus the other. Let me tell you something. Right now, because of the reforms that helped us pass, you're seeing the largest decrease in insurance policies in the history of this state. Over 20 insurance companies have filed for rate decreases just this year. Historic. I went back and looked. I went back 30 years. There wasn't more than 5. Last week, Farm Bureau reduced their rates by 11%. And last week, I announced a brand new company that's coming in to write commercial property insurance. And I know we got a lot more to do. I get it. Somebody might say, well, mine ain't going down. You should check that out. Okay? And believe you me, property insurance is a problem. It's a bigger problem on the coast. And we're going to work on it from south to north. It's unbelievable. And so, I want you to understand something. I want you to gauge the folks around this state, especially in elected positions. Because I want you to understand something. That leadership is not about how loud you can yell. It's about how well you lead and how much work you actually get done for the people that you serve. And for the first time in over 30 years, last year, 30,000 people moved in to the state of Louisiana rather than 35,000. Why? Why? Because people see what I'm seeing. They see a state that's on the rise. And the rest of the country, though, I just want you to understand, this is why. Don't forget, you got to tell a story. Because the rest of the country is not just going to lay down and let us take our back. They're going to try to work to compete against us. That means that we have to work even harder. But don't you worry. We're going to live by those tenets, and we're going to just keep moving. And if you have faith in me, if you go out and tell us, if you just smile, like we have forgot how to smile in this whole country and have a good time. We invented fun in the state of Louisiana, and we're going back to having fun. Because this is really the greatest story that's yet to be told. And I want you to know something. This is not the end of our journey. It is literally just the beginning. Because we are no longer in this state going to be defined by what we were. We're now going to be defined by where we are and where we're going. A state where families thrive, where businesses grow, where children learn, where communities are safe, and where the government serves the people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Louisiana's moment. This is your moment. You own this success. You tell the story. Let the world take note that this is going to be the greatest story that's yet to be told. And right now, it depends on you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I love being up here. We're going to be back up here some more. I promise you, Mr. Simmons said I could come, and we're going to give you a gift certificate of sporting goods. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Governor Landry. Thank you for your work of wisdom, and thank you for believing in our community and our great state of Louisiana. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time to come here and visit with us, and your presence reminds us that the voices are ours that matter, that our community matters, and that